Hello, thank you for joining us for another episode of the L'Oreal Talk Your Worth podcast. I'm Poppy Njongwana, and today on the pod we've got the incredible Sinovuyo Mondliwa. Hello and welcome.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
You've had such a fascinating, unique journey. I've heard you speaking about it, and I'm excited to unpack everything that you've been able to achieve. You described yourself earlier on while you were chatting to one of our technical guys as someone who went from being an Instagrammer to YouTube to Boss Babe. Tell us about what the early days of trying to make a presence on Instagram were like.
I think that's the different thing. When people ask me, how do I get onto Instagram and how do I build a brand? I'm always like, I didn't try. So in the beginning, I'm a BSc girl. I graduated in 2000 and whatever. I worked for 5 years as an urban and regional planner. And I was just frustrated with like my hair and having cut my hair for the first time ever, having natural hair for the first time ever.
Wow.
Obviously, I had natural hair when I was 5.
Sure.
But I mean, since I relaxed, then I've never been natural before. I mean, again, after the first time when I was young, yes. So now I'm just like, my scalp is dry. Obviously, I'm not using oil moisturizer anymore. So then I'd go on YouTube and the American girlies would be like, use coconut oil. So I think my claim to fame is that I'm the most unimpressed person, apparently, on Instagram. So I went on and I was like, coconut oil doesn't work. And everyone was like, coconut oil is everything. Pour it over your whole life. And I was just like,
we did.
Yes. And I was like, this dries out your scalp even further. Now I know the technical reason why. It's because oils are sealants. You're not supposed to put them on dry scalp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm just a person who's very opinionated and hardly impressed. So when something really impresses me, I post about it. And I've got like a cult following. So when I worked with brands before, like if I said buy this, like it sells out. So I was like, hey.
I'm curious to understand how you think you developed that cult following. What about you and your brand or what you're putting out resulted in you having this cult following?
I think it's the honesty. It probably comes from my family because we were having this chat earlier. So like I remember when I was young, like you'd walk out of your room thinking this is my best outfit and my sister would be like, that's good, girl, it's not working, you know? So I'm like that. So I'll be like, I know everyone's crazy about this cream, but guys, it doesn't work or like in the way that it should. There's a sunscreen that's gone viral. So I bought it. It's a Korean sunscreen, and I actually reviewed it 3 weeks ago, saying that actually it leaves a purple cast. And I know that the formulation is amazing and I love it.
Yeah.
But I think for black skin, there's something off about it. Or when you use it with the oil-based moisturizers.
Sure.
And literally now they're releasing the sunscreen that's better for black skin. So I was like, I knew there was something. So I think there's a discernment and an honesty there that we don't see a lot on social media.
Oh, that is so special and also so unique to you, because I think everyone in the beginning was kind of figuring it out, but you figured it out quickly. I remember the early days, you were one of the top influencers.
Thank you.
And just seeing your brand, not always necessarily about the hair stuff, but everywhere with everything that you were doing. So you did develop something from the beginning.
Yes.
What was that like for you? Did you know that in the process of doing it, that this was going to be the beginning and then you're going to get somewhere, or were you just being yourself?
No, I don't know. I was just broke and I was like, I'm making money
honesty.
from this. Yes. I remember like in 2017, my salary just wouldn't cover my life. Like I want to go to Jimeli and I'd be like, I can't afford it. So if I do more and more, I can now go to Jimeli and not even look at the prices. You know what I'm saying? But obviously that's a little bit superficial. So there's the side where my clutch broke and it was 7K and I didn't have the money and I wanted to travel. I wanted to go to Zanzibar. And at the time, the products that I was selling for another brand made me enough money to go to Zanzibar for New Year's. So it's like, it started like that. So I think a need or wants were pushing but I think obviously the honesty and authenticity. So my biggest thing about my brand is authenticity. The authenticity carried the brand. And at that time, not many women wore their hair natural.
Sure.
So you'd find that brands wanted to associate themselves with the young black lady who's wearing her hair natural but using their brand.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's quite unique.
So the strategy came later. The
Okay.
strategy came
so you were just being yourself.
I was just being myself.
And then everything unraveled the way that it was supposed to.
Yes, the strategy actually came in lockdown.
Okay. You mentioned though earlier off air that you had a tough time during lockdown, as many people did. Give us the rundown. What was your lockdown like?
so
Even though it
bad.
feels like it was years ago, I'm sure it's still very real in your mind as a business owner.
No, it was dark. The first 21 days were great. So I did my first 21 days were great because you didn't know how long it would last. So I remember I knew I'd struggle because the day they announced, I think we had like 24 hours or 48 hours. I was like, what can I do? I was like, let me go to Harties. So I like drove to Harties for a last hurrah. And then it started. So I did a 21-day natural hair series for the first 21 days.
Nice.
So 21 tips or what do you need? So I did like one of the days would be hair scissors. One of the days would be how to, it's like hair scissors. You buy them from you buy them from your shops and then you trim your dead ends.
Okay.
So as black ladies, we are scared to cut our hair because we're so attached to length. But now those split ends make your hair dry and doesn't grow. So I always try and motivate people, buy a pair of hair scissors. So it's super sharp. So if you cut your hair with paper scissors, they're quite blunt. So it'll increase the dead end or the split end. So I had different topics for each day. One day would be how to straighten your hair without drying it and so on. I didn't own my own products at the time. So the year before lockdown, I had I was gifted actually satin pillowcases by the very brand. And then I loved them so much. They made such a difference for my skin and my hair.
Okay.
And I realized that was actually the catalyst or like the biggest impact for my hair care. Because I found that if I'm sleeping on cotton, all the work that I'm putting in and the products and the moisturizers get absorbed by the cotton. So if I'm using satin pillowcases or silk pillowcases, satin is just like a synthetic copy of silk. Silk is expensive, it's unsustainable because it comes from silkworms. So now satin is the mimicking of it.
I see.
So satin is a weave. So how the materials are weaved together create that non-friction, slippery kind of thing. And they also it also holds in moisture and heat. So I was actually, I love this, but then none of the pillowcases I had at the time, some of them would slip off the pillow and the quality, like I'd wash it over and over and then within 6 months, the quality would like go down, like not bad, but like it wouldn't be the same. So I went out looking for, and this was just for me, So I went out looking for material. I made pillowcases and I was like, these are the best, And then I gifted my parents. My dad is very critical. So I gave my dad a pair that December 2019 and he still uses them to this day.
Oh.
And he was like, like he thought that was the bougiest thing ever. So I started setting to my family members, but it was a hobby. So now 2020 happens. Obviously, this is December 2019. 2020, March, lockdown happens.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was dating a very smart business person. Not like, but anyway, very smart person, let me say. So he comes from a business background family.
Sure.
So he was like, oh, you love these pillowcases of yours so much. And like all your people love them so much. How much does it cost to make a set? So I was like, so much. He's like, oh, okay, so you can scale it. So I was like, what's that? The only scale I know is the scale that you stand on. Then he's like, no, in business, there's a concept called scaling. So if you make a certain product and it has demand, it costs you less if you make more. If you can to satisfy the demand. So I was like, okay, cool, let's try it. So I remember I went to the shop with like 3K. Before I'd spend 200 Rand or like 500 Rand because it was for me and my family. But now it's like, okay, 3K, okay. So I spent 3K on my first material batch. And now it's like, I think that year I went on to sell for like R1 million in a month. Same, like literally a few months later.
No way.
I promise.
Wow.
So, and then I was studying marketing. I started studying marketing in lockdown as well because I was like, okay, I need to unlock this thinking.
Yeah.
Because it's so
well
cool.
Well done, man.
Thank you. And then, so people really wanted dooks. So I was like, no, dooks are a little bit like angry black woman cleaning on a Sunday. I don't like the vibe.
I'm finished.
Right? And this is me saying it on Instagram. But people thought this girl's crazy. And then the one lady, super smart girl, Tembi, she was like, so challenge the stereotype. Because as black people and black women, we're so stereotyped. So if you think a traditional dook that we get from our grandmothers and mothers is angry black woman, then create one that suits.
That isn't.
Yes. So that's what I did. So I basically like created a duck that matches the pillowcases that already existed.
Wow.
Using this nice material, the satin, in different colors. And now they match. And then I did straps so that it wouldn't fall off. Like,
this is so cool.
Obviously, it's different for each person, but like hopefully it wouldn't fall off. And yeah, the ducks then were the
took everything to the top.
Yes. So since then, I've launched 6 more products.
Cheapers.
With more SKUs. So I expanded into a kiddie range. And now we're launching 6 more products. So I'm launching a beard serum in the next 3 weeks.
Look at you.
Right? Thank you.
This is insane.
Crazy,
I love the growth and just how you've been able to expand. How did you go from just, the pillowcases and the ducks?
Yeah.
Are we gonna call them ducks?
Yes,
in 2024.
I'm actually called the duck lady. That's my
love
nickname.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, duck lady.
Yes.
Into developing the next products, how did you decide what was next? Because it makes sense with the pillowcases and the duck.
Yes.
But then the other 6 products, was it a continuation of a story? How did you develop that, and how did you decide that was what your market or your customer wanted?
Okay, so from the first products, you find what your thing is.
Okay.
So as a business, you have to have a thing.
Okay.
So my thing was blind spots. So it was like everyone's moisturizing their hair and wasting product every day, but the cotton is sucking it out. So it's like finding that spot that people don't think about. So for the duck, it was the heritage significance, but making it modern. So I was like, okay, the next product, it also has to be something that people don't typically think of.
Sure.
It's like Airbnb and Uber. The need has always been there, but we haven't found the perfect combination of things to satisfy this unknown need. So the next product that I launched was the hair ties. So as girls with afros, we do something called a high puff. Or like even now I use it with my braids. So with braids, you find that they're so thick and normal hair ties that they sell don't hold. First of all, we want the weight of the braids to be off our heads. So we want something that's strong enough, but also need something for our hair that doesn't dry out the hair. Because you'll find that your hair starts breaking if you're using stocking, and some people use bra straps, some people use shoelaces.
Okay.
So now I did that same, also the size. So usually hair ties are this big. So we've got an open-ended hair tie and it's satin lined.
Ooh.
So then it doesn't dry, your hair doesn't dry out, and also it holds the weight of the braids.
Okay.
So that one is design protected. I went on to design protected through an IP firm. So that's like my most prized possession, not a possession, but thing that I've done. And then hair ties took off. They're brilliant. Like people love them. And that was like four years ago.
Cheap.
Then after the hair ties, it was the bonnet. So the bonnet is the most traditional one. So bonnets are popular in America. It's an American trend. So people were like, we want bonnets, and I'd see Cardi B with the bonnet. So I was like, all the bonnets I see are very like, the material's like light.
It's whack, yeah.
Yes, it's whack. So I just made a very high quality bonnet. It's reversible. Got copied a lot. So obviously I can't trademark
everything.
I can trademark, but I can't protect that one.
Yeah.
Because it already exists. The hair tie didn't exist.
Sure.
So people can copy. So my lawyer always says, you can let everyone copy until it's a big company. Then we can go after. But like, just let the people, I think that you can do. Really.
And also they're coming to you because they trust you and what you're bringing to the market.
Yes. So that's actually what she said. Work on the brand.
Okay.
Steve Jobs said with Apple, if people were to ask, do you want to carry on if you were to leave Apple, would you leave with all the products you've ever made from the first computer, or would you leave with the brand name? And he said he would leave with the brand name and let go of everything he's ever created. Because if you make something else and it's Apple, people are still going to buy it. But people won't buy those products under a different brand name.
Definitely not.
So my brilliant lawyer Lita, she said, just focus on the brand. So then I focused a lot on the brand, which is packaging, quality, so the brand values and all of those things.
This is such an incredible story.
You're
from a massive, massive family.
Yeah.
How did you find your voice in the mix of all of those voices? First of all, how many are there of you?
Lots. I don't even want to get into it and I forget someone. No, there's lots of us.
Is the family that big?
Yes, I've got a big family. So funny enough, when I'm with my family, I've got no voice. It's so weird. But when I'm outside of my family, I'm yapping like now.
Oh, wow.
But when I'm with my brothers and sisters, I'm just like...
You're soaking it all in.
Yes.
That's why you're so smart.
Yeah, thank you. So my sisters and brothers are even smarter. I'm more quiet. with my family. I don't know if it's believable.
What?
But, yeah.
That is so difficult to believe. You've
Right?
literally, first of all, you've got this glow about you.
Thank you.
And it's just amazing to hear you speak about your business. So no one offers you business advice there at home?
No, not really. Like, but I talk about it. Like now I've got something to really talk about. Because before, what would I talk about? Like my job, I guess. Oh, work is fine, whatever. But now I've got something to talk more about.
Sure.
So my dad, actually, I had a chat with my dad like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And then I said, I need to have integrity in how I do business because I feel like the people that don't have integrity. My dad was just looking at me and says, oh, Mdanam, you're so smart. Using the word integrity in business is like you get it.
Sure.
Because all the businesses or business owners that don't have integrity don't last.
Sure.
They don't last the 20 years or
Exactly.
the 30 years. So I see like my dad is an entrepreneur. He's never worked for anyone.
Okay.
So I think he's so proud of me. Like even now he'll say, you know, like she took after me.
Sure.
I finally found my brother's also entrepreneurs, but I mean, my dad just loves entrepreneurs. He thinks we think different, we see the world different. And I have both. I've got the 9-to-5 experience, I've got the entrepreneurial experience. There's pros and cons to each. I don't know if I've got one that I prefer.
Speaking about the 9-to-5, you went from corporate into being a content creator into owning your own business. What have been the lessons for you? There's been so many leaps of faith that you've had to take. What has been the biggest lesson for you?
It's been so crazy. For me, it's like the biggest lesson has been if people don't see your vision, don't think that it's not valid. Because I remember when I left my 9-to-5, people wanted to host interventions for me. I've lost my way. I'm leaving. I went to Wits and now I'm going around trying to be a baddie. Not a baddie, it was called the slay queen.
Yeah.
And like, I remember when I'd post a picture like in a bikini, like, you're also posting pictures in bikinis. This is what it's about. I'm like, I'm at a beach. That's why I'm posting the pictures of bikinis, but I'm also doing natural hair. So those concepts can coexist.
Sure.
But obviously now I was more visible. So you'd find that it made people around me uncomfortable. Like even family members, like, now everyone's always talking about you. Yes. Sometimes in a bad way, sometimes in a good way.
So they were jealous.
No, not really. I think my brothers were concerned.
Okay.
The other friends, they just didn't see the vision. So I think sometimes maybe not seeing the vision can be confused with jealousy. But if a friend says, I don't think this partner's for you, they're not necessarily jealous. They just maybe, they don't see what
Looking
you
out
see.
for you, sure.
Yes. So now they say, we were so wrong. Can we have hair products? We're coming to buy. So they didn't see the vision at the time, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't. Yes, obviously, there's a thin line. If you're drinking every night and someone's telling you, you should, yes, take heed. But if you're trying to take a different career path and you're leaving your, I guess, safe career path. I guess when I left, I had a contract from a big brand for a year. So I made sure there was I knew maybe it was.
To do what?
To launch. So let's say like a big brand has different brands under them. And then they're doing, actually it was for one brand under the big brand. So they were planning to launch, let's say 3 products under that brand for the year. So then I'd be one of the influencers on that, on each product. So anyone who's followed me knows what it was, but I just don't want to mention it.
No, it's okay.
So that was 2019. Yeah.
Cheapers. So much has happened for you. What do you frame or what do you attribute your success to?
Talking and being opinionated and being honest. Some people dislike me for it, but I remember in high school, primary, high school, varsity, I struggled with it. So people would say I asked stupid questions, but the questions were ready to understand. So I like understanding everything at its place. When I was doing my funding run, I remember I met with this other investor. He's actually the founder of Superbalist. And he said to me, what are you trying to sell me? Your product is not a need. Your product is a luxury. It's a want. So how do you sell a want? So I had to go back to the drawing board. Yeah. Because I was marketing it as a need. Like you need a certain pillowcase for your hair not to be dry. But he's like, no, people have cotton pillowcases and they'll be okay. Yes. But now how do you... A luxury makes your life better, but it's not a need. Sure. So then that's when I got my packaging. That's when I started like building the brand story and all of that. So I don't know. I forgot the question now. Sorry. Please repeat the question.
I was asking what you attribute your
Oh,
success
yes.
to.
So like learning, talking, being open-minded. I'm very open-minded. Being opinionated, and I don't know what else.
And who were you learning from in the business space? You mentioned the boyfriend that you had initially that taught you about scaling, but who are you constantly pulling from in terms of your business?
Everyone. He introduced me to a guy that really helped my business. So that guy actually helped with the transition from satin to hair products. So he's a
It was a
business
good
developer,
boyfriend, this one.
right?
Few and far between.
He's a brand developer. He worked at JP Morgan in New York, and he would grow businesses. Obviously, I can't afford him, but because they were in the same circles, and then he introduced me to him, and he said to me, "There's no business here." I said, "Excuse me, I made this much money."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, you can make money, and it's a trend, but it's not a business. Businesses are long term."
Yeah.
The most important stat in a business is returning customers. So how are you going to do that? Returning customers, you have to have a product that finishes. Well, I guess Louis Vuitton, the bags don't finish, but it's a different business model.
Sure.
But for a small business like me, I needed a hair product that finishes. So I just sit on that one, and I came up with the concept of the hairline serum. So everyone's got a hairline serum now, but I was first to market. So I released my hairline serum in 2022, September, actually 31st of August. And the hairline serum basically addresses the issue of us wearing braids, wigs, weaves, cornrows, all of that stuff. So our hair, we get something called traction alopecia. It goes from...
Have it.
Yes, a lot. I think over 50% of Black women over a certain age have it. So I knew that's my market. It's also older women, so they're earning better, so they can afford the product. If I'm going to make it high quality, it's going to be a bit more pricey. So we launched it at $3.99. So it restores, maintains and restores your hairline. And that's basically my business now. So people, now we're doing pre-orders, and we've got the hundreds of pre-orders. So after that, spritz, oil, moisturizer, and now beard serum, shampoo, conditioner, and treatment.
I'm excited for the beard serums and all of that stuff because it changes your offering, but also pushes your business into a different space completely. Yes. How are you aiming to understand that space in your business? Because you're a woman and you've obviously studied women and women's needs, and that's why you've had such a huge following and so many customers. But how's that journey been into men's products?
So this is how I made it easier. I don't know if it's smart or easier. Well, smart is finding the easiest way to do difficult things.
Sure.
But so my customer that I'm selling to is not the man. I'm selling to the girlfriend, to the wife. When they're getting their hair products, they're just going to pop in a hairline serum and give it to their husbands or their boyfriends. So I'm still selling to the same customer. And I know they always... So smart. And the men end up all using the women's stuff anyway in the bathroom, especially the hair stuff.
Sure.
So I'm still selling to the same customer, but reaching the men indirectly. I've put in some peach and pineapple in there for those who don't know. Lovely. And
Who do you go to for business advice now?
My lawyer, she's brilliant. My accountant, knows other people that. So whenever they're stuck, they'll now I did a business evaluation. So my accountant knew someone who does business evaluations using the model that I preferred.
Yes.
Yeah. Then there's a time I wanted public liability insurance. That's if someone says, your bonnet strangled me, and then I have to pay. So my lawyer didn't necessarily do it, but she introduced me to another lawyer that does it. So a network of professionals.
Yeah.
Partner. I prefer professionals because you find that when you ask friends and colleagues and other people, they lie a lot. Or maybe someone, I remember I was asking about VAT a few years ago when I was registered for VAT 4 years ago. And the story was just nothing that I know to be true about VAT now.
Today, yeah.
So it's you don't have to register for VAT. I think they didn't get the difference between VAT and tax. So then you get confused. But if you're talking to a professional, they know what.
If I can explain it to you.
Yes. If I talk to you about hosting, you know the mic and all of these things. But I can't talk to you now about something completely. Maybe you're going to try to record a story and then it's going to confuse me.
Sure.
So the professionals guide me. That's what I prefer.
What lessons did you take from your corporate background into this journey?
Every lesson. Discipline, being on time.
I was about to say, you sound super disciplined.
Except for food, but discipline when it comes to keeping time.
Yeah.
I think discipline is multifaceted.
Yeah.
So it's not just time, big on time, but it's like attention to detail. It's reading for comprehension. My thesis taught me that. Building a story it's more a combination between my varsity, what I learned, and especially honors, and the working environment. And also like at work, you can't be who you are at home.
Okay.
So like how you present yourself, all of that,
And what characteristics, personal characteristics, would you say Sinovuyo has that have helped her become a boss babe?
Honesty. I think honesty is the biggest one because I'm honest to myself, I'm honest to others. Other people see it as harsh, but I think it takes me 10 steps forward every day. Just being honest about how has this day been, how has this year been, all of that. I think I'm a very honest person. I've got integrity. Talkative.
What does a day look like in your life? You were talking about stock and things earlier on. It sounded really chaotic. It sounded like you were in your head thinking about 100 things that you have to get done. Give us an idea of what, maybe a week, because a day is kind of like too brief, but what is a day like in Sinovuyo's life?
I think I'll give you a year.
Okay.
So I work in sprints. So for example, summer, spring is the best time to launch products. And be out here like doing this. So in summer, I work a lot. So literally, I've been resting most of the year.
Okay.
Resting doesn't mean doing nothing. I'm still doing 100 things, but I'm not as all over the place. So like now I'm doing interviews, podcasts. I don't do any podcasts in the first 3 quarters because I feel like that's character development hasn't happened since the last time I spoke on all the other podcasts a year ago. So I wait for myself to learn the lessons. Like now I can talk about having conversations with distributors, biggest distributors in South Africa, getting into the contracts and first like distribution deal, which I didn't know, which hadn't happened last year this time. I can talk about the first year where I'm like getting dressed up, wearing makeup again, being out there since lockdown. I lost some weight this year, the confidence that's come back with that. So I feel like talking towards the last quarter of the year, you can reflect on the year. And this morning I went to gym, went to the office. So the ladies received stock. Well, we received stock, so there was stock counting. I'm onboarding a new employee, so just checking that she's wearing her uniform and she's doing things right. And then I went home. My dogs were there, fed my dogs, showered, came here. And then after this, my friend's getting married tomorrow, so I'm going to her house. So but what I like is the freedom to do what I want with my time.
It sounds like you've got the perfect balance. A bit of business, a bit of play,
a bit
of dog here.
Yes. I go to Cape Town whenever I want. I've been traveling a lot. So last year, August, I decided I want to travel.
Okay.
So I've gone to, I think, 5 countries in the last 12 months. So when I decide I'm going to do something, at least I've got the time. I can like save and create the room financially. And then, so whatever I want to do, I can do. So it's a nice balance.
It is. It's so much fun to just watch you be able to do that. And it's all because you made and you took the leap to go into what you wanted to. So give us the breakdown in terms of the facets of your business. What is there to Love Kinks that we may or may not know about? Give us
the background, the back end.
Not even the background, just the elements to it. So you've got the products and the brand, and you've got what happens.
Okay, actually, I don't have funding, so I fund my business through campaigns on Instagram. So there's the Sinovuyo personal brand. So I work with Standard Bank, I work with different people, so I'll talk about their products.
Yes.
Obviously now I don't do hair stuff.
Okay.
I'm the so I've designated. I've left the hair stuff for Love Kinks.
Okay.
So now the other part of my brand, I'll promote other brands. When they pay me, then I can fund my business.
I see.
That's what people might not know. I don't know what else. I think there's a lot of facets. I'm not too sure. So there's the products. There's the everything I've learned. There's the personal brand. There's the learning. I'm forever learning. Like I'm not good at HR. I'm not good at hiring people. You can't be good at everything.
Sure.
So I think I've learned that now I just hired someone who's going to deal with my employees. And like, for example, yeah, just don't know what to do when you're onboarding a new person.
Yeah.
So I remember I'd have someone for 2 years, but they still don't know the ingredients and the products. Because I know them and I'm so passionate. I've given them information on a piece of paper, but they're just not absorbing it.
Yeah.
So now the HR specialist has said, no, you're supposed to do a test. Like at a restaurant when waiters come, they don't just know the menu because they've been given the menu. They do tests. So now she's going to do a test with the new ladies to make sure that they know the products and can sell it to customers. I've got a shop, a showroom. We're going into distribution now nationally. So yeah.
A lot is happening for you. And a lot on a big scale.
Yeah.
Lessons on this journey. What has been the biggest lesson you've had to learn?
Take everything with a pinch of salt. All advice, professional or not, trust yourself. You are a product of your upbringing. So tap into that, the positives and the negatives. My mom passed away when I was very young, when I was 16. And I was sad for like 10 years. But now, like when I think of her, it's positive because now I think of, it's like, I'm not as depressed and down and out and sad about life. Like I choose to look at the positive side and the fact that I love hair and it's become so big. I thought it would have to be like something like accounting or like an engineering firm.
Sure.
So it doesn't have to be something that is perceived as profound. I remember the one lady I went to high school with, she was like, oh my gosh, things are clear. Like she's lost her way. So yeah, life is not all about these perceptions. And yeah, like also it takes so long to grow a business, like 20 to 30 years.
Sure.
So in the first year or two, don't buy a Porsche. You're going to lose the money. Pay your tax, pay your VAT, get professionals, get an accountant. So those are like the lessons I've learned and the wisdom I would impart on people starting a successful business. Get an accountant, pay your tax, register for VAT, trust yourself, tap into your childhood lessons. And yeah, the magic is always there somewhere inside.
You mentioned your mom passing away when you were 16. How did that affect your self-worth and just how you were feeling about yourself?
I've never been the same. I've actually, I think a part of me died with her. Like that carefree person who just wakes up and everything's amazing.
Yeah.
I've never had that again. I think this is probably the happiest I've been since before she passed away. I think I had a very dark, like 10 years from the time I was 16 to 26. I just didn't see the light. Like even now I'll say to my friends and family, like the sky is blue. Like for a long time, the sky, even if it was blue, it would just be gray. So it was just like a film, like over my thinking about life. Like I dragged myself to my job. And so this journey has really reconnected me to the light of life, I would say.
That's so beautiful. And how do you feel about your worth and what you have to offer the world now? Now that you see the light,
yes,
there's life after that.
I'm so confident in who I am. Even if people could say, like online, obviously you get negative and positive feedback. I'm really sure about myself. I'm sure that I'm a good person. I'm sure that I treat people well. In cases where maybe I've had to be strict at work and it's not perceived as the nicest, I understand that it wasn't because I'm a bad person. It's just I'm learning. I respect people. And yeah, I'm just very confident and sure about my intentions and my execution and how I present myself to the world.
What about yourself? Are you still learning to love?
I'm still learning how to love, how honest I am, to be honest.
Really?
Because I even researched it. There's a thing in...
Is it that bad?
Not bad.
Yeah,
but researching it doesn't mean
saying.
It's bad. It just means I'm really interested and like trying to figure it out.
Okay.
So there was this, I hate not remembering this because it's one of my favorite things I found. So I think it's the Japanese culture. There's, like what Xhosa, there's like sayings.
Proverbs.
Yes, but like Xhosa proverbs. And
Okay.
they just stand the test of time. So I think it's the Japanese culture, they've got one. So it's called... Katsuma or something, I can't remember. But one is like honesty at the expense of others, or not lying, but like being less honest, but at the greater good of others.
Okay.
So for example, if I go a brand, let's say a small business, I don't know, like there's a Love Kings out there and they've released a serum. And I go online and I'm like, this doesn't work. Is there greater good or greater negative to that? So now honesty has to be framed around. So sometimes it is better to not be honest for the greater good.
Yes.
So like learning stuff like that, like finding the balance.
Okay.
So now I find the value. Sometimes someone will lie, tell a white lie, and I'll get why they're doing it. But before I used to be like, I'm not friends with liars. Like, I can't stand people that can't. When the person says I'm 5 minutes away, they're not trying to trick you. They're trying to make you feel better. Like, I'm coming now. But I'd be like, but you're actually 20 minutes away.
What do you mean?
Yes. So I'm getting life and the nuances and why people are the way that they are. And the human condition and all these things exist for a reason. So I'm not black and white anymore. My therapist used to always say, I'm like water. I see world as the water and auras, but I need to start seeing the world as those two put together. So seeing the gray area of things.
Your therapist talks about auras.
Yeah, so he was trying to make it clear.
I need your therapist.
Because he was like, life is not black and white. I was like, I actually have always heard that saying. What does it mean? I don't get it. He's like, you see things as either or, as auras or water. But actually, when you put them together, it's cool
juice,
drink. But you can't, maybe you don't like the water, or the water is not tasty alone. But the concentrate, you definitely can't drink it by itself. But now when you blend it together,
it becomes something.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, national distribution. Lots is happening in your life. Big things are happening. Okay, we don't have to speak about how you're going to nationally distribute Love Kinks, but we need to know about the future of your brand and everything that's happening that's positive in the next couple of months. What can we look forward to?
So I've been in talks with different distributors over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
But I've never found a deal that I feel like could work for me. So I think I finally found a deal that could work. So obviously financing it is a big thing.
How is that happening?
Ish.
With them?
Ish.
Okay.
But I'll talk about it online, definitely.
Okay.
So in the next year, you'll definitely see distribution. I'm getting a lot of help from professionals as well. So yeah, I'm becoming a real business person now.
You are a real business person. You're not becoming, you are. It's already there.
I know about projections and I say words now that I never thought I'd say. Like I was reading my accountant was teaching me my evaluation and how to read it and interpret it and talk about it to investors.
Sure.
So now I know like customer stability. What is the other thing there? Forgot. Projected future growth. All these things. So I'm getting into the business terms.
I got you.
And there's something that I really had a dilemma about because of the integrity part. There's these new systems called buy now, pay later. So I had it 3 years ago and it brought a lot of revenue to the business. And then I thought, no, man, if someone is struggling to buy a moisturizer, okay, I didn't have a moisturizer at the time, a Dook that's $199, what other financial issues are they having? Should I be selling this product and they're buying it on credit? Because you know that sometimes when the facilities try to collect the money, it's not there, and then they have to pay interest. So I removed it from my website and platforms. So I remember the business advisor would be like, this is the worst decision because most companies, 40% of their income online comes from those buy now, pay later solutions. So now I sat with someone 2 months ago who was saying, no, see it like this. They sell luxury wear, like a dress is like 4K. And she'll be like, a rich person or a person who's got disposable income was going on holiday, let's say to wherever, Maldives, and they want 3 of these dresses, but the moment they don't want to part with 15K, they'd rather part with 5K and then get the other stuff on buy now, pay later. So it's not always people that are doing it from a point of you're compromising their financial stability.
I got you.
So I'm having to like make a business decision over an integrity or an emotional decision. So I'm gearing away from more emotional decisions and I'm making more financial business decisions to grow the business and sustain it over time. Because then it could increase my sales by 40% and then my national distribution can be possible. So it's little things like that. So things that I never thought I'd ever like come across.
But you are within and you are swimming and we are loving your journey. What advice would you give 16-year-old Sinovuyo Mondliwa?
Oh my gosh, death. I would tell them that like it's a part of life that you're gonna have to accept, learn, and get over it quickly. Like not get over it just like that. Like go to the free therapy counseling thing at Wits. Wits had free therapy and I didn't go. High school, I think we had like facilities. I didn't go.
Yeah.
So you need to accept things that are just part of life and find tools to get through them sooner. Because if you hang on to it for 10 years, my life was on hold for 10 years. So I'd say things are going to happen, big things that you don't understand. And then you just need to process it quicker through tools and therapy, or use whatever, talking about it. So I'd say don't hold on to the negatives of life as hard as you did. There's so much good, and unfortunately it coexists with the bad. So yeah.
I needed to hear that. Sinovuyo Mondliwa,
glad.
thank you so much for joining us on Talk Your Worth. What a fascinating story. I can't
Thank
wait
you.
to see what you do next and how your business continues to grow.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us. That is how we wrap things up right here on L'Oreal's Talk Your Worth podcast. I'm Poppy Njongana. I'll see you next time.